What's up, everybody? So today we're back in the garage with the Civic once again. Now in the last few videos you guys saw with the car, we ended up getting the 5-look conversion completed. We took it on its first test drive and everything seemed to work great. No issues whatsoever there. I've been cruising around here and there and it's been very enjoyable. Stops great, drives great. No major issues. We got it all realigned and we got the wheel liners taken out because those were the only things that were rubbing. They were pretty chewed up and pretty nasty. So we got those pulled out. But now I want to get back into doing some modifications and upgrades to the car. So with the Civic, you guys know this is a DX model, and with a DX model comes with manual windows, manual locks, and manual mirrors. So today, as you guys can see behind me with this lovely mess, we're going to go ahead and see if we can change that and add power windows, power mirrors, and power locks. Because as you guys know, in the interior of the car currently we have the JDI push button start, the iDoing head unit, which is a full touchscreen with Apple CarPlay, and it just kind of overall modernizes the interior. And we also have the Oxytow LED lighting in there. So I want to continue that on and do more electronic features in the car. So we're going to go ahead, like I said, add this stuff in there and see if we can improve it and make it into a more higher end model. So all this stuff here is from a Civic EX or a Civic SI, the coupe. So we're going to see, like I said, if we can make this work or not. I've read a couple forums online. They don't really give you a whole lot of information, and I've seen a few videos here and there, but nobody really goes into depth on how to do it. So today, we're going to figure this out. So from what I've read online so far, when doing this conversion, you have to be yearly specific to your chassis. So with my Civic being a 2000 Civic DX, I had to source 99 to 2000 spec parts from either a Civic EX or a Civic SI. Now if you have a 96 to 98 Civic, you have to find 96 to 98 Civic SI or EX parts to use in your car. Now obviously the doors from a coupe are the same as a hatch, and if you have sedan, you have to find sedan. So luckily enough for me, I did find some SI doors. Somebody was parting it out, so I got both doors. This one here is the driver's side door. Unfortunately, it didn't come with the outer door panel, or I should say door card, however you want to say it. So I don't have that, but I do have all the guts, the wiring harness, and everything there. Like I said, I did tear this one apart already just because I want to see all the inner workings and show you guys the differences between the doors, or if there are any differences between this door and this door. Ideally, I think they are the same, but we'll have a good look at them and compare the two. But as far as parts go, this is everything laid out here. I know it's a mess. We'll go into more detail once we get to installing, but you can see here we've got the floor harness from a 2000 Civic SI. Like I said, you can either use SI or EX parts. So we've got the entire floor harness. We've got the lock mechanism there. We got the window motor and regulator there. We got the power mirrors there, and we've got the switches and stuff there, as well as that little box there. I'm not entirely sure if I need that or not, but I read online that somebody said you need to take that, so I grabbed that as well. So let's go ahead, jump into this install. I guess we'll do a comparison between the doors, and then we can jump into the install and see what's all required. So as you can see, I already disassembled this door just to give you guys visual references and to give me an understanding of what the differences are between the two doors and if there is any. And overall, I'm not seeing anything. It does look to be exactly the same. So thankfully, we don't have to paint the black doors white. We can leave them alone and just keep using our stock doors. So like I said, everything does look to be the same. I can put up a picture on the screen so you guys can see the differences between the two if there is any. But like I said, I don't see any differences. Only thing is we have the crank motor, we've got the manual locks, and we got the manual mirror. So everything does appear to be able to be bolted in. We'll have to put in our wire harness and all that stuff and do all that stuff. But thankfully, it does look to be exactly the same. So starting off, I'll go over here to the driver's side door. I'll show you guys how to take off the door panel, how to get everything out of there that we need to remove, and then we'll go ahead and show you guys how to put everything in there. I'll come back over here. I'll reassemble this one with all the power parts, and then we'll go through, disassemble the entire interior to get to the floor harness. That'll be a job and a half right there, but we'll swap out this floor harness for that one over there, and we should have power mirrors, locks, and windows. So in order to remove this door panel, we have a couple screws. There's one back here, one in here. There is a few behind that speaker cover, and then we have this clip to remove that is holding on the handle there. So all we should need is a Phillips screwdriver and a small pick tool, and we should be able to remove this door panel. So let's go ahead and get this off. So as you guys can see here, we have the door panel all removed. fairly simple, pretty easy to do. All I have to do now is pop out the glass with the crank for the window here and swap in the power one. Same thing with the lock system here. So it looks like there's a few screws here to pop this out, as well as these bars and stuff. So same thing here, just a few bolts, pop all that out. We'll have to roll the window up a little bit to get access to the bolts there for the glass. But I think the window rails and all that stuff should be able to stay in there and be fine. I think we could still reutilize those, but it'll just be the power motor for the window and the power lock system to be bolted in. So first up, let's go ahead and roll the window up just a little bit to get the bolts lined up here and over here so we can take the glass out and we have access to everything on the inside. So that should be good there. So I have access to this one here and this one here. They should both be 10 millimeters. So we'll go ahead, pop those off. So there you guys have it, the glass is out. Now I don't know if you necessarily need to take the entire glass out, but you might be able to just tape it up. But I want to see and make sure that the glass that is in this door is the same as what was in the power window. Make sure it all lines up in the same. So let's go and check that out real quick. As you guys just saw, we got the glass out and it is exactly the same as the power. So we can go ahead, move on to the next step, which will pop out these 6 10 millimeter bolts here. So I'll get rid of the crank assembly and put in the power one. So there you guys have it. The manual regulator, whatever you want to call it, is now out. Just had to kind of pull back on the metal over here to get it to kind of come through, and it just slid straight through there. But yeah, that is out now, and we can throw this off to the side. So next up, we're gonna go pop this off and put in the power one. I don't know if this all needs to come out or just a couple of these bars to get to the section over here where the power goes, and we can run our wire harness through here and back through the section of the door. So before we go pop this out, I just want to kind of compare the two and see what exactly we're looking at. So as you can see here, this is the motorized section for the power locks. And as far as the rods go, they do appear to be exactly the same. So we should be able to reutilize these ones that are already attached. We just need to go ahead and separate the motorized section that is here and swap it out for the just manual one that's there. So I'm going to go ahead, pop off these little rods here. Now when you guys look, there's these little clips on the back side here, and all you do is just kind of pry at them just to pop it up like that, and then you should be able to pull the rod out. So same thing goes back there. It's just gonna be really difficult to show because it is such a dark confined space. So basically that's all you gotta do is just kind of reach back there with like a flathead screwdriver, pry it up, and then you should be able to get the rod out of the way. There you guys have it. The manual one is now out. I just had to take that lower screw here for that rail, loosen it up, as you guys can kind of hopefully see down there at the bottom, to slide it back and forth and just kind of move it out of the way for a second in order to get that out. So now we can go ahead, put the power ones in, make sure it all fits up, get our rods reattached, and the locking mechanism should be fine. We'll run our cable through here, all our wiring harness, take the one that's currently through the door here just for the speaker alone, and swap that out and get this in plugged in over there, and that should be good. And just like that, we get everything all hooked up and bolted back in. All I have to do is to run this wiring harness throughout the door and get it plugged in back to that end over there. But I can show you guys here. Just set this on the seat for a second. So you guys can see there. Open and close. Lock it. It's locked. Unlock it. There we go. So everything's good now. I already tested out the key as well. So now, like I said, we'll go ahead and move on to the wiring harness. And there you guys can see the wiring is all completed. So you guys can see there, it goes from there, connects there, travels over, loops around, and then it tucks inside the door. You guys can kind of see the square back inside there. that pops through the other side, and then the speaker harness there has a clip on the inside there, and then just that little guy there. Now what we removed from the door was just that little bit of wire, and that was just for the speaker. So now that's out and all of this is in. So next up, let's go ahead and throw in the window motor. So just like that, we got the bolts in place now, so we can go tighten these all down, slide our glass back in, and we should be able to mount that down below. Now as far as the wiring goes, as you guys saw there, I just clipped it back together here, but we're going to need to run the motor just to get it to bring it down, and obviously I don't have a wire harness or anything that's actually powering this up just yet, because our window bar is up here that holds the glass in. So we're going to need to do a little bit of trick here to add some power to this to get the window motor to actually actuate and bring it down, so we can actually get our bolts on and get the glass in. So now that we got all those bolts tightened down, we'll come over here to this harness here for the window motor itself, and we're basically going to jumper the wires with a 12-volt battery here and power it. So you guys can see here, there's the red and yellow wires here. You hook up a wire to this end to get it to go up and down, and I guess I'll basically just show you guys here. But take a 12-volt battery, I got it connected with some alligator clips here, here, and here, and then this is exposed wire. So we're going to take it, put this end, so it touches that terminal there. I'll take the alligator clip, go on to the first one there, take a second wire, same thing, stick it in the battery, and then take this one and touch it right beside it. Okay, so that way went up. I don't know if you guys can see it going up. So we're going to reverse these. So instead of this red one going on the far left, it'll now go on to the second one, which is the yellow wire. So we're going to connect it there, same thing, just touch. And as you guys can see, the window went down. So just a little trick for you guys if you guys are trying to do this project yourself. Just a way to jumper the harness and get power to it. So now we got that in, we can go ahead and put the glass in. Alright, so we got the glass in, got these relocated and lined up. So we can go ahead, tighten them down. So now that should be good, and now we'll go ahead and do the same trick that we did before to get power to the window, to get it to go up and down, test and make sure everything works the way it should, and then we should be good there. So let's go ahead, see if this actually works. The window is now completely up, nice and lined up, and everything's bolted in. So we're good to go on this side. All I have to do now is to swap out the mirror for the power mirror. So for the power mirror, we'll go ahead, pop this cover off, and then there should be just a couple bolts behind there. Take that out, the mirror will pop off, put the new mirror on, and then run our cord through and connect it to here, and it should be able to be plugged in and good to go. We won't be able to test it just yet, not until we get the rest of the wire harness put in, but at least this door now will be completed. Now we got this side mostly assembled. I don't have the door panel for this side, so we have these switches and handle and stuff setting there, but that's as good as it's gonna get for now. So that being said, let's go ahead, jump over to the passenger side and complete that. And now the passenger side is all completed. Same steps as the driver's side, just the only difference is we have an actual door panel for this side. This door panel, not in the greatest of shape, but at least we have one. You guys can see here, got the switches, the lock and everything all installed there. Door panel, like I said, not in the best shape. There's a few little cracks there, some wear on the fabric here, but we'll take care of that at a later date. At least we have a door panel on this side. Still need to get one on that side. We'll have to maybe go to a junkyard to pick one up. But with that being said, we can go ahead, jump on the interior now. So now the seats, center console, carpet, all the stuff's got to come out of here so we can get to that harness. now we got most of the interior out. You guys can see it looks pretty bare in here. All I have to do is to pop out this rear brace, which I think this is mostly specific to 99 to 2000 chassis. So we'll need to pop out these metal braces because underneath there's a few wires you guys can see there. The fuel pump there connects and runs across to that harness over there, which is all one, and then it comes across the floor here and connects it there, goes into the door. So that is what we're replacing. We're gonna need to pop all that out. Like I said, first we need to pop out this rear section here and then the wiring harness. The wire harness is finally out. That took way more work than what I thought it was going to be, but we got it. Now we got to put that one in.
A few moments later.
So after quite a bit of time, you guys can see here, we got the entire harness installed. That took a lot longer than what I thought it was going to be. You have to be pretty much a contortionist to get into some of these spots, but I'll go and show you guys how this wiring all runs and basically how it all connects. So we'll start over here on the passenger side door. So over here, you guys can see you have this wire harness that runs through here, and it goes up behind the ECU. So we have to get the ECU out of the way. There's just the one screw there. Take that out. ECU will pull out. You don't have to disconnect it or anything. Just pull it out of the way, and then you can take the harness, snake it up through here. I didn't end up pulling the blower motor or anything out like that. I was just able to snake it through, but you guys can see there, it comes through the rail there, comes down, and then into the door. It's best to not have the door panel on when you're doing this because the plug on the inside likes to pop out. So you have to have your hand back behind there to push that in. But yeah, that side's in. Then you follow the loom here, connects to the floor there, goes across, and this is your big bundle of wire. Like I said, this is the one that sends power from the driver's side to the passenger side here. And then you guys can see there, it's got the one wire that runs off and connects to the e-brake. So once it's connected there, that'll send power to the e-brake. So we have it pulled up, it'll pull on the dash light. But then we'll go ahead, show you here. Comes across the floorboard the rest of the way, connects here on the seat rail here. You have the one plug that goes here for the underside of the seat. Follow this up, continues back, and then it has the rest of the loom connects back here. So you have the one random plug that doesn't go anywhere. It was on the stock harness as well, but then you have the ones that go behind the B pillar here. So as you can see there, it connects to the door ajar light or whatever. So it's just the switch for there, and then way back in there, I don't know if you guys can even see it or not, but there's another gray plug, and that goes to the rear taillights. Follow this across here. Now this is where you had to pull the rear brace off because that wire harness is tucked underneath there. You follow this across here, and it goes to the fuel pump. So you have to pop off these 4 screws here to access that, pull the plugs out, and then you should be able to continue on. Rest of the way, same thing. We have the orange plug there, and then behind here, that same plug there. So now the main side, over here, you guys can see the rest of it comes over here. You have the one ground that goes there, the rest of the harness there. Ignore this box. This is just for my push button start assembly, but as you can see there, it snakes up, goes all the way back behind there, and then also connects into the door. Same thing as the passenger side. You guys can kind of see way back in there. That's what it's connecting to. So this goes there. As far as everything else goes on this side, I did pop out my OBD2 plug, so it's just right set in there. The fuse box, same thing, has 2 screws on it, or 2 bolts, or 2 nuts on it, and then that pops out, so it gives you access. There is a green wire on the back, or a green plug on the back side that has to come out. There is a gray plug up there that has to come out, and then there is also a blue plug, which you guys can kind of see right there, that has to come out in order to snake the new harness in and replug it in. So now all that stuff is reconnected and back together. We can go ahead, throw on the 2 nuts on this side to get this back in, put our OBD2 port back on, and there is one ground wire up inside there that I'm gonna need to ground onto the chassis here. I think there's another bolt up there I can plug it into, but that's all taken care of. Then there's also this one white plug here that comes with the new harness. This goes to the power mirror switch. So I'll show you guys that here in a little bit once we go to install that, but that will go to the power mirror. As far as the fuse box go, you have to have a relay that goes there, and I think it's like 2 or 3 20 amp fuses, which I'll show you guys that too. But now that this is all taken care of, I'll show you guys on the old harness what plugs I'm talking about that go on this side, so you guys can get a good idea and example of what it looks like. It's kind of hard now because it's all tucked up, but we'll show you the plugs, we'll show you the window switch, or the power mirror switch, and then we can go ahead and install this stuff and test it out and make sure it works. All right, so this is the whole wire loom all strung out here. This is the one that was the non-power one, so I'm gonna try to give you guys a better example here with it all laid out. I know this isn't the best, it might be a little confusing, but If you look at this here, this is the front driver's side. So this is what goes to the door and connects. Now the other plug has much more outlets on there than what that is, but here is the green plug I was talking about that goes into the fuse box. The blue plug that is next to it, and then the gray plug that is underneath there. Oh yeah, there is also an orange plug down there too, so you have to plug the new one in there as well. But this is what's all on the driver's side. Now, if you follow that back, like I said before, goes all the way back, and then this is a section where that random orange one is just sitting. This is what goes into the door, or the B pillar there that connects to the door ajar light, and then this is the one that connects to the rear tail lights. Follow it across, you have the fuel pump wires, so there's 3 of them there. Goes across there, same thing, random orange plug, and then this one here that goes into the door ajar light. Now, come back, this is underneath the seat. There's your one ground wire that goes to the seat itself, goes all the way across to the e-brake cable, continues across, same thing, wraps up, and this is what goes into the passenger side door. So overall, it's pretty basic. It's just getting it into the car and getting it into those places. But yeah, now that that's done, like I said, we can go ahead, plug in the rest of the stuff. Here is the under tray with the new power mirror switch. So you guys can see there, the car had a sunroof and power mirrors. We'll delete this plug. We'll take one of the plugs out of the old setup, like these block off plates here, and we'll swap it on it here. But that's the plug there for the power mirrors. So we can go ahead and hook that up and get this under there. I'll need to transfer over some of my stuff for the push button start, but that's the piece you'll need for that. And then the other thing I mentioned at the beginning of the video was this white box here. So this white box here, I don't believe I'll need it. It's just for the remote entry. So like if you have a key fob or whatever, we can use this. But for me, I'm not going to use it, so I'm just going to keep this back. Maybe someday if we do decide to wire it in, we'll add it. But for now, I'm just going to leave it as is. I'll hang on to this just in case. The relay, this is the relay you need. I tried going to Honda to get a new one, just in case this one doesn't work, but they're on back order, so I'll link this down below. I'll link the part number and everything if you guys try to pick this up yourself. But yeah, this is the relay you need, just a 4-pin relay. Goes up in the fuse box, like I said. Just goes right here in this plug here, and then you got 2 or 3 20-amp fuses that will be added to there. So with that being said, let's go ahead and finish connecting all this stuff up, and then test out the windows, locks, and mirrors, and make sure everything works. Okay, so we got everything reconnected back together and where it should be. So coming underneath the dash here, you guys can see there, we've got our relay plugged in. We've got our 2 20-amp fuses there in the 10 and 11 spots, so that should be power windows. We've got our blue plug connected. We got the green plug connected in the back. We've got the fuse box back together. We've got the ground wire attached right there, and then we also have the gray plug all the way back here connected, and then that orange plug that was down there, that doesn't go anywhere, so that just sits there. I went ahead, hooked up the power mirror switch, so it's just sitting here for the time being so we can test it out, but everything I believe should be hooked up and ready to go. So you guys see there with the door assembly all put together over there, as well as over here aside from the outer panel. So let's go ahead, test it out and see how it works. Might be a little slow if it does work because I've had the doors open, so the battery might be dying a little bit, but let's go and test it out. Okay, fuel pump's kicking on. You guys see the radio turned on. So first things first, let's test out the windows. Driver's side first. Heck yeah, look at that, it's going down. Very slow. Like I said, I think the battery's dying, but this side works. Let's do the passenger side. Oh yeah, it's going up. It's slow though, but it's going. Sweet. So we've got windows. Okay, locks. We got no locks. Nothing. The dash is flashing door ajar, so I wonder if I need to close the door in order for them to work. I don't know. We'll test that out here in a second. But let's see if the mirrors work. So we'll go left side for driver's side. Heck yeah, we got mirrors. That's so cool. How about passenger side? Oh yeah. It's moving. Sweet. So we have windows, mirrors, but no locks. Let's see, like I said, I'll hop in here. Let's close the door here. See if that changes anything. Still nothing. For some reason the light kicks on the dash. Not sure why, but no locks. Okay, so I'm gonna try to see if I can figure this out. If not, maybe one of you guys can help me out in the comments below. But I think I have everything hooked up for it. I did see on some of the other cars or other Civics, they have this little box that goes here, but there's no plug or anything that goes in that area for this car, at least when I got it. And from what I've seen, it seems like 96 to 98s have the box, 99 to 2000 does not. Like I said, I think I have everything connected up there. I'll check the fuses, make sure they're all good. But yeah, so far, like I said, everything works besides the lock. So I'll see if I figure this out. If not, we'll go ahead and throw the interior back together.
Tomorrow.
Next day now, I've been working on the car, trying to see if I can figure out what is wrong with the lock system and why it's not operating. And so far I haven't come up with anything. Like I said, we do have that one white box that we pulled from the parts car, and to me that looks like it's just for the keyless entry. I don't think that has anything to do with it. But I don't have a wiring harness or anything that would plug into anyway, so you have to splice something in there to get that to work. As far as everything else goes, I went through, I tested the door lock system fuse here, made sure we're getting power to it, and as you can see, it says 20 amp in the back. We have power both sides, so that's good. As far as in the interior goes, like I said, I did see on other Civics there is a box that goes here, but there is no plug or harness for it to connect into. And my research and stuff that I've done, it does look like it's just for like the 96 to 98s, unless somebody knows in the comments below, you can correct me. But it looks like from 96 to 98, there's a little box here that controls all that. 99 2000 does not. Everything just kind of plugs in. I was able to jumper this harness here to test and make sure that the actuator does work, and it does work. So if I take a 12 volt battery, connect it, and then jump from one wire to the other, this whole system moves. But if I do it from the lock itself, it doesn't seem to do anything, and I'm not seeing any power to there. So I don't know if there's like a splice in one of the wires down below. I'll have to check it out. But for now, I think we're just going to leave it as is. I still need to get a door panel for this side to finish this off. I haven't found that. And we still need to get a tweeter for up there, because as you can see over there, we did get a tweeter with that door panel. So I think with that being said, we'll go ahead, throw the interior back together for now. We at least have windows and mirrors, which is awesome. Locks are not a huge deal, but it would be nice to have power locks at some point. So like I said, if you guys have any suggestions or ideas, throw it down in the comments below. But for now, let's go ahead and throw this interior back together. It's going to take a little while for me, but for you guys, it'll be just a second for you guys. So just like that, interior is all back together. Seats, carpet, all the trim plastics, center console. We got the mirror switch in here now, so that's all good to go. Fuse box is all tucked back up like you guys saw with the relays and fuses and all that. The only thing we don't have is the door panel itself. We still need to source a door panel for the driver's side. Ideally, I'd like to find ones in good condition, so we have to go searching junkyards or see if anybody's selling one online. But as you guys know, these door panels are kind of hit or miss. This one over here, it's in okay shape. There's a few cracks and stuff at the top with that kind of plastic pieces, but overall it works at least. So we'll have to find a door panel. We'll have to find a tweeter as well to match this side. You can see there, you got the plug there. But like I said, I'm super happy to have at least windows and mirror switches. We'll have to figure out the lock situation at some point. So if you guys have any suggestions as far as fixing the lock system goes, throw it down in the comments below. I'm definitely going to be interested to see what you guys have to say. Like I said, I do have this box here, which to my understanding, that's just for the keyless entry, and there is no plug or wire harness down there to plug that in anyway. So if you guys have any suggestions, let me know. But overall, everything is complete and good to go. So with that being said, I think we'll go ahead and end up the video here. If you guys like this video, make sure you big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. We've got plenty more stuff coming with all the cars, so stay tuned for that, and I will see you guys in the next one.